Are you about ready for showtime?
Yay!
Okay. A few seconds to go. Let me just do a couple of quick checks here. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I've got good evening.
Welcome
And it
back.
looks like this is welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to see you. And thank you for joining us on our special holiday show. We would like to thank everyone out there that's participating in family meals for Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful for. We are thankful for our health. We're thankful for our families. We're thankful to be employed. And we're thankful to be one planet that is moving towards peace, because we definitely need peace. So
Yes.
let's just be thankful that we have a chance for peace, and let's see what happens in our future. But we're looking forward to positive things in the very near future. Honey, thank you again for joining us. And again, we've taken a break for about a week and a half, but we're bringing back our show, and we're dedicating this show to the holiday season. We'll call it a kickoff to the holiday season. Now, the last show, and I'll give you, I don't want to step on Swanee, but the last show was titled Origins, Swanee T.
Yeah.
So, of course, the other half of the duo might be I have to give my origin story.
Yes. Yes.
And I will talk briefly about a little something about myself. But if Swanee, if you have any questions, please feel free to put me on pause and jump in.
Oh, yes.
Because I will
I
start
have
rambling.
questions, but I would like to hear first.
Repeat that?
I said I will definitely have questions, but I would let you start with your story right away.
Now, just so the audience knows, you prepared some questions for me. I have them on my tablet, and
Yes.
these questions are each and every one of those questions would take me probably about an hour to answer, and they're 10 questions. So we won't get into all those questions. I'm just gonna just ad lib and just talk about what's on my brain. So I am originally from Alabama, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, and my fondest memories as a child growing up, because I'm only going to go back so far, but I will kind of give the audience a little bit of where I came from and what my inspirations are, because I believe one of those questions was regarding what inspires me. But I basically grew up with my mom and my grandmother and my father. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and believe it or not, my grandmother was one of my greatest inspirations. No, as well as my parents, but my grandmother was born in 1910. 1910. So that would make her well over 100 years old right now.
Just at the beginning of the century.
Exactly. So that's where I kind of want to focus in that area. My grandfather was born in 1907, so he was in a few years old, my grandmother. But I grew up and spent a lot of time with my grandparents, and they kind of molded me into the person that I am right now. But what do you mean by that, Mike? Well, since my parents were working, my grandmother took care of not only myself, but my sister and my cousins. And she had all of us children in a little three-room house. And we had to share everything, and which was fine. It was quite normal at that time. But I remember when I was probably about maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old, that I spent a great deal of time just playing outside in my grandmother's yard. Now, why is this important? Because during this time, there was a lot of other parents that were just letting their kids run around a block away, 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away, run around. Mm-hmm. And we had a park that was probably a half a block, not even a half a block from our house, but she didn't trust us to even go there. So I spent many of my years in the front yard. And even at a early, I'm sorry?
She was very caring. She was making sure you were
very protective and very caring. So she knew something.
Yeah.
And I remember being so young that I had visions of one day moving out of Alabama and seeing the world. And I had built this character in my mind. He was a Batman type of character. And I built an entire storyline on this character that I had in my mind. And I would spend hours, maybe 6, 7, 8 hours at a time, just building this story in my mind. And I would have a little rock in my hand, and I would be juggling this rock with creating this story. So the key word is creating an imagination with that. That's the key takeaway from that. And I remember palm trees, sunshine, beaches, water, because I would watch these 70s. Yes, of course, I grew up in the 70s.
Yes.
I would watch Charlie's Angels. I don't know if you remember Charlie's Angels. These were some detective. Yeah, the 3 ladies that were detectives, and they were in California. And I would see these beautiful palm trees and warm sunshine. I would also watch Three's Company, and the characters on Three's Company were living in Santa Monica. And I would wonder, well, what is it like actually in Santa Monica? So California was always on my mind. And I knew at that, I'm sorry?
I'm saying it was appealing to you. It was just not just
very appealing to me.
There was something attracting you there.
Traveling, adventure, just getting to an area that was a little bit different than where I grew up, because where I grew up, there were brownstones all over. Brownstones are the brick buildings, a very urban environment. So seeing the palm trees, I associated that with Hawaii, California, Florida. I equated that with being able to go to these places and just relax under a palm tree. Any questions so far?
Uh, well, you started with your grandmother, and I was wondering, what kind of life lesson you took from your grandmother, like what you keeping with you.
Very good question. My grandmother was a very modest lady, and I remember during certain times of the year, winter time, it would be so cold that the pipes would burst and we would have no hot water. And we would have to take a bath. But I remember back in those days of waking up and she was in the kitchen boiling water to pour into a bucket so that we could have warm water to take a bath. So little things like that helped me as an adult growing up because I've lived in areas of the world in which there was no free flowing hot water. So I had to go back to that mindset of learning how my grandmother taught me small little survival skills like that.
Yes.
So little things like that I remember to this day.
Also,
helped
maybe
me to
you do something with nothing or with very little. You can build a whole world in a way.
absolutely. She taught me how to use what I had
Yeah.
and use that to make my life a little bit better
Right.
by using simple things. Now, and the interesting thing about it, certain words that she would use back then, up to now as an adult, I have to go into the dictionary and look up what those words meant, and they were actual words.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, so she taught me some very important life lessons. Now, with that being said, transitioning into high school and making friends and associates in high school. Just a quick shout out. I won't cover that too much, but I do want to pay compliments and shout out to individuals that helped me to graduate high school because I was going through some things in life, and I knew that I needed to put myself in a position to not be caught up in to things that were bad, like smoking marijuana and doing drugs and things like that. So I hung out with straight and narrow friends, and I was able to spend time with them and dialogue with them and be a part of their family in a certain way. So being with a good group of people, solid people, really helped me to stay focused on a straight and narrow path.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in high school.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Was it like something like that came to you naturally that you knew that you wanted to follow, kind of like a very clear path, very not go with drugs or anything that could change
I
your
do
life?
want to tell you one fun memory. One fun memory that I do have with that one life lesson that my dad taught me. May he rest in peace. When I was about probably maybe 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, I remember my dad took me to the grocery store. And we were picking up something at the grocery store, and there was a young guy sitting outside the store. And there was an adult standing over this person that was sitting down. And my dad looked over at him. He said, "Mike, see that person right there?" He said, "That person is getting arrested for stealing." And he says, if you ever do that, you're going to go to jail for a long time and you're going to ruin your life. So that lesson as a 4 or 5-year-old at that time stayed in my brain. One other
Yes.
story I would like to tell you, share with you regarding drugs. My mom simply told me, because she had tried drugs, marijuana, when she was a teenager. And she said, Mike, if you ever do marijuana, you will die. Imagine telling that to a 6 or 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So those ideas of planting those thoughts in my brain really helped to focus to keep me on a straight and narrow path.
That left a big impact and a big impression on the way your life was going to take shape later on.
To this day, to this day, it plays an impact. Absolutely. And I've never done drugs. So because of that, so I appreciate that. Good life lessons from my mom and dad.
Yes.
Now, so that we won't go too long into the story, we're going to go ahead and graduate from high school. And now we're going to talk about the big Mike. So having these thoughts in my head as a child about the world, seeing palm trees and the beach and the oceans and water, I decided to join the military. So I joined the Navy, and that brought me out to California, and I've been in California ever since. And that experience gave me the opportunity to form the person that I am right now. But I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit. In the work that I do now, and I won't really dive into that, what I do now, but it's dealing with technology. And the term technology was not in my vocabulary as an 11-year-old child. So when you think about technology and you think about technology, you think about electricity, you think about audio, you think about video, you think about music, you think about various aspects of multimedia, you think about the internet, you think about telephones, you think about that's all under the umbrella of technology. Yes. But even as a 10-year-old, I found myself tinkering with electronics back in those days, and I was building DJ sets and experimenting with music and doing all these things with my hands. And I never thought that would be the direction my life would go into. But these were traits that were embedded into my DNA. And that is what actually, formed the career aspirations for the work that I am doing right now. So here's a little for the audience and people who might watch this live stream. Here is a little hint. If you are out there wondering, what career choices can I make? Which direction do I go in? Which direction can you go in? And the answer is within you. It's been within you all your life. And all you have to do is ask yourself, what is it I have always been good at, even as a small child? And if you can determine what that is the answer you've been looking for. And that will set you on the career path of your dreams.
That sounds like a great piece of advice. Very, very true. Yes. When you really ask yourself, what I'm good at and also what I really want to do in my life. Yeah.
Try to hold the mic up a little bit closer, if you don't mind.
Do you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
My sweetheart is playing. She's playing with her new toy.
Okay. Yes, this is the microphone that I got just last week. I wanted to ask you, when you were like a 10-year-old, like you said, and you were, playing with all this electronics, or was it a way also for you to just be busy? Like, because, as a 10-year-old, sometimes you have TV or you have other forms of play, playing with, going outside and playing with friends and stuff like that. So was it to keep yourself busy in some way?
I would say yes, definitely a way to stay busy, but it was actually a way to live out a dream. It- the passion that I had for technology at that time was simply because I wanted to be a mad scientist. So I would so doing new things and experimenting and doing little experiments, or how can I how can I take a song and loop it 100 times and create its own beat or its own genre, you know. And back in those days, there was no computers to do this, so I had to
Yeah,
do everything with tape.
internet. Uh-huh.
So it was just not to stay busy, but to see how I could push the innovation at that time,
Mhm. So it was
if that
already a
makes sense.
passion at the time. It was already a passion up to this day.
It was a homegrown internal passion
Right.
that I had and that I still exercise to this day.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
from that point, just really started a career that I really enjoy, and that's working in technology, and that was my calling. Being able to see the world uh, through the military really exposed me to cultures that I would never think that a small kid from a small town would ever see. And I'm living that dream. I would like to quote a interview. Mr. Tavis Smiley did an interview with Black TV. If you don't know what Black TV is, just check out YouTube. But he did an interview, and he said that someone approached him and says, "What do you do?" He says, "What do you do when your life has exceeded your dreams?" He
Right.
says, "It's
Yeah.
simple. Dream bigger dreams." So I never thought that I would end up where I am today, and I'm truly blessed to be in the position that I'm in today, and have you in my life, and and having a wonderful family, and meeting so many beautiful people throughout my life. I never thought it would happen to me. So my dreams have already exceeded my expectations. So now my expectations are to continue to go move forward and and push the limits of my ability to accomplish my dreams. And
Yes.
that's where I am right now.
In other
Having
words,
shows
dreams
like
never
this and telling my story, telling your story, I hope that someone is inspired by our story. And 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 of course, if you have any questions or whatever, please reach out to us. But I can tell you that, because I know you very well, that you are actually living some of your dreams as well, because you are a self-proclaimed poet, and you are very good at your writing and putting your thoughts on paper and creating poetry from your thoughts and ideas. And I believe today that we're going to start a little segment where you are going to give
Yes.
us maybe
Yes.
a spoken word outro and maybe some
Yes.
words of inspiration
Word.
before we
Yes.
close out the show.
Absolutely. I've been starting to do spoken word maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I did a couple of um, um, clips and videos combining artists, musicians, and myself as just reciting my text. And but writing, to me, writing started very very early on as a child, trying to express my feelings more than thoughts. It's more like it's feelings, so it really comes from a very deep place. um, I'm kind of like expressing here whatever I go through usually. So yeah, we can definitely do an impromptu spoken word
Well, let me know when you're ready, and I'm gonna cue up. I'm
here.
gonna cue up a little bit of music in the background just to make things a little spicy for us. So let me know when you're ready, and I'm gonna cue the music up.
Wait a minute.
But I won't start until you're ready. I
stand
will
for
not
this.
start until you're ready.
I need to stand for this.
Get yourself together.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Got it. Hold on.
And please make sure that you hold that microphone as close to your mouth
Yes.
as possible.
Do you hear me like this? Do you hear me? Good?
Yes.
Good.
But let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm cueing music right now, and music is live.
On my own, I am my own name. When all is left is a full heart, hanging there like the breath before a question that never comes. But I am time. I must bandage the past so I can kiss you in verses and hold you in prose. How is it possible to sink and swim in the waters of the heart and find out what curiosity is? I came to see what was your thunder, and here I am, wearing chaos like gold. Or the storm of my eyes. Will I look away? Or will I drown down deep into the ocean where love is ready and vulnerability knows me? This is it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That was usually I do practice a bit, but that was
I think
very,
that was excellent. I think it was
spontaneous.
excellent. Is there anything else that you would like to tell our audience before we close out?
Well, I also want to wish happy Thanksgiving to everyone, especially in this time. We need to be thankful to be just with our loved ones, whether it's family, it's friends, whether you're with coworkers. Just be thankful and grateful and feel blessed with everything that you have. And just sending my blessings to everyone. And also, if you can please subscribe, we would love to be able to continue and show you everything that we are.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
And I
really
do
appreciate
feel blessed to
you
have
joining us today.
you in my life. That's what
Oh,
I'm
and
thankful
I feel
for
exactly the same way.
today and every day.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you.
Okay.